Hello, this is Bonsai, or known as XL, and these are just matches with supports. And what I really wanted to jump into is a interesting topic about robotics. And what I think about robotics is we are literally like on the edge, on the verge of robotics. And I feel like the whole world is just literally on a race to find a solution, and I think the solution would have to be robots. As stupid as it sounds, that's what I believe. And you could be like, oh, that doesn't exist and blah blah blah. And yeah, a lot of it exists, sir. And the reason why I say a lot of it exists is because I have like robots like chilling in my room, and they're literally movable dancing robots. I just press a button, they do things. And when I was little, I used to make these little mouse bots, and these mouse bots were able to do all sorts of things. They just literally drove around and did some really fun stuff. And the the whole point is like I literally I soldered it, had classes and this and that, and it was really cool, the robots and all this and that. And what I believe is, I feel like the governments should mass produce robots or whatever type of technology they're thinking that would be helpful to do certain type of tasks that not too many humans really like, you know and you all probably think like, oh, that's slavery and this and that. I'm like, yeah, sad to say that it is kind of slavery in a way, but throughout the whole human life, we all been just slaving to death. And I feel like robotics would be a thing. It would be literally a future type of thing that it should happen. And as stupid as it sounds, you're gonna probably think like, oh, there's gonna be like rules in the future for robots, for abuses and this and that. Well, of course, we never know. And the thing is that a lot of it is pretty much true. If you ever see like the progress that Boston Dynamics does, or things like Asimo, like the Japanese have made, or robots like Sophie, the really crazy robot that literally can speak full sentences. Imagine if there was a robot that can just help do these painful tasks, these phone calls that only one person is doing, like this job for 100 people. Like, man, oh man, that would be literally helpful. And the thing is that, if that's the case, we, in the future, we can all just do jobs that just make us feel so much more better, active jobs that just doesn't make it feel painful. Things that would just make sense. I don't think we all should have like jobs where it's just completely freaking painful. Like, I don't want a job where I'm just completely digging up shit for the rest of my days for fertilizer for goddamn crops. You know what I mean? Like, jobs like that would literally benefit humanity. And that's what robotics would literally come in, and that's where it shines the most. And another thing that just doesn't make sense is that like, it'd be so easy to just literally tell our president like, yo, we just need robotics, just mass produce the thing. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't work like that. And it would solve a lot of problems, but this whole world is just covered in shenanigans. And it's kind of painful to just watch while the world is literally like burning. But if there's like a little tint of hope, might as well bring it out. It's crazy. And man, oh man, I feel like technology right now is just, it's crazy. We're all using it right now. Right now, you're watching this, you're using technology, AI. And, like 100 years ago, we didn't have all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, all this stuff just basically does it for us. And, you know, I feel like people need to do some things because, if you're sitting around doing nothing, then, that's a bad sign. It would be literally not healthy for your body. And boy, oh boy, it'd be really, really interesting, like, it'd be good if there was these robots just literally go to these jobs that we would have, and they would have to deal with all this virus crap, like, what would happen in the future, we just abandon the whole freaking idea, and the whole world just, like, completely burns. But I think, like, it'd be crazy if these robots would get, like, a virus. You know what I mean? Like, if they got, like, a virus or something like that, and they end out, like, starting to murder people and shit, like murder bots and shit, that'd be freaking crazy. But, for something like that to ever happen, that'd be, like, pretty damn intense, like that movie, like iRobot. But, man, oh, it's just watching everything, I don't know, man. It kind of makes me kind of sick, watching people just work, like I worked like so many of my years, I think, oh my god, I think I worked like 4 jobs in my life or something like that, and I'd be doing jobs that I just did not even like, and it was just kind of painful, and I'm just like, man, oh man, you know what I mean? Like, I just wish there was something that could just, help me out on the side, just make tasks a little bit more easier instead of struggling, or like your back breaking, or your arm just breaking, or things that are really dangerous. That would be really nice if something like really strong robots, like they should need to have like strong robots, nothing that's like absolutely frail, like nothing that you could just literally one punch the goddamn mother flipper and it literally can't fight back, like it's gotta be like, I don't know, it's gotta be like a crazy ass effort, but it sounds like insane type of effort. Like, if the world would mass produce, let's just say in the factories, these factories got to have these machineries, and these machineries gotta make the cables, gotta make the bearings, it's gotta make, the plastics or whatever type of things, like they would have to make like 2 million robots or something like that to literally go out into these big corporate companies, or like homeowners, or this and that. Like, I believe like it should be like on a cheap level, because if it would be on the high level, like, who would buy these robots, and they would just have 1 million goddamn robots chilling in the goddamn storage doing nothing. And it has to be a large quantity, like cars, like we'd have to go and make a factory just for robots, just like the goddamn cars. And there's factories that already have robots making cars, which is pretty cool, but those robots are just solid static objects that they just literally stay there and do do things. But it's helpful stuff, but it's pretty interesting if you literally read and get really into all this robotic stuff. It's pretty wild. And boy, oh boy, I remember when I was little, I would literally get these Legos, and there was this Lego robotic arm thing, and I would literally customize it, and I would put it onto a thing and have it grab my goddamn lemonade, and it worked. But that's the only thing it did. Like that's the only job it only had. But it just shows like that would be absolutely lazy. I think if the whole world just had nothing but robots, I think we'd all be pretty damn lazy. But I feel like they should have robots for good specific reasons, like in jobs that not too many people really like, you know, or specific reasons where, you know, they would have to use, I don't know, there's some pretty damn interesting stuff out there. There's just a lot of jobs that are pretty hard. You know, like cutting down trees, you know, like in Alaska or something. Like that would be cool if there was like this big old freaking robot that literally cut down these trees and literally, you know, helps out those lumberjacks from not getting hurt from those big old pieces of wood. And I know for a fact they already have these, you know, gigantic uh these machines that they have to use. Like they have to use these machines that are humanly remotely controlled, but it's like, I don't know, it needs AI, and that's what's going on. Like I feel like the world needs AI, and that is the era we are literally living in. We are living in the future. Like, as crazy as it sounds, look how far like this whole world is just literally let off. You know what I mean? And man, oh man, it'll be pretty damn wicked stuff. And yeah, I'm just literally I'm just having a blast just watching these matches. But hey, you know, a lot of these mobile suits are just a bunch of supports, and these supports are pretty damn, you know, lackluster. It's pretty hard to use. Don't have that much kick or power in these things, but you know, that's the way it is. But as I said, you know, I swear to God, it's gotta be robotics to literally do a lot of things, you know. It'd be pretty damn helpful, you know. Like, I wouldn't mind if there was a robot helping me doing the mailing system, you know, like, I swear to God, if there was, like, robotics that was really efficient in the mailing and all this, it'd be helpful. But, you know, as they would all say, like, a lot of the robotic, sorting machines that they would have in, like the USPS type of places, or you know, FedEx, a lot of it is robotics, but the fear is that someone is going to hack that sort of robotics. And I feel like they should have a code where it's basically impossible, and when I mean impossible to hack, just a whole bunch of like crazy stuff, you know, crazy stuff that just doesn't make any sense to literally hack things, you know what I mean? Like, there's literally a bunch of hackers, and that's a lot of our fears is the hackers. And the hackers are really, I don't know, they're pretty smart people, they're pretty crazy. And you know, I've dealt with a lot of hackers in gaming. Hackers, you know, online hackers, all sorts of goddamn freaking hackers. My sister dealt with freaking hackers who literally hacked her goddamn card and shit, grabbed all her money and this and that. And you know, just hackers are crazy, you know. And I remember that in a lot of these games that I've had with these hackers, I always want to literally take these mother flippers like down, and I'm just sick and tired of like dying from these goddamn hackers. And in the end, I'm able to literally, you know, beat their asses. But there are some hackers out there that are just literally invincible, and you just literally can't kill them. They would have like crazy HP or something like that, you know. Like they would have like some crazy, you know, you just can't kill me, you know, I'm an invincible hacker, you know what I mean? I've dealt with those, and those guys are like the worst, and they're dangerous too. There'd be like those hackers and all those Call of Duty games. Like, I don't know how many goddamn hackers I've dealt with Call of Duty. I don't know how many hackers I've dealt with Battlefield. How many hackers I've dealt with in this game. I don't know how many hackers I've dealt with, you know, Fortnite, World of Tanks. There's just a bunch of games. Almost every single game has a hacker, and a lot of those hackers are basically involved, like in Europe, China, United States, all over the world. And majority of those hackers are Chinese. And as fudged up as it sounds, right now the Chinese are just trying to get their hands on any sort of information from around the world, because they're basically struggling. And when I mean struggling, they're just like, they're having a hard time with food and this and that, and it's pretty damn painful. It's just sitting around just watching this shit happen in front of my eyes every single day. You know, like I remember I had to deal with starvation, and that shit ain't freaking funny. They have to deal with starvation every single day. And let's just say, like, if they had robots in China that would help, you know, agricultural places, I swear to God, you know, like, it would help the most, like hardest hit places. And it'd be really, really nice to just see, like, them just literally get off from their feet, but they're just under the control of just nothing but bad people that just want, like, freaking money. They're just mad greedy. They just want power. And, you know, power is just painful. You know, in the wrong hands, power is just evil. And every single time I'm just like, man, you know, when I see someone just literally struggling online, or they would have, you know, oh, sorry, I had to do something real quick. It's just, I feel like they just have a hard time, because they literally have no money and this and that, and I'm just like, hell yeah, I'm just gonna donate some money for this poor person, because, you know, why not? It's a nice and honest way to do things. You know, if everybody's trying to think for themselves, because that's pretty hard. You know, if everybody thinks for themselves, then who the hell is going to make the goddamn freaking, you know, food? Who's going to make the goddamn freaking this? Who's going to, you know, who's going to take your calls? Who's going to take your this? Who is this? Who is that? And man, oh man, you know, like, that's when robotics come in. Like, I swear to God, robotics would just save all that fucking, like, headache, all that fucking pain that everybody's, like, literally suffering in. But if we are going to use robotics, we shouldn't freaking abuse robotics. We should use it for good and right purposes. Like, a lot of these companies, like, I swear to God, like, I think Mitsubishi is working on robotics, and they are just really uptight with all that stuff. And I remember for a fact, it's kind of crazy, there's this, I believe the creator of Gundam, the person who created Gundam, he hates hearing the word robot. You know why he hates hearing the word robot? Is because he believes robotics would make people lazy. Which I understand his whole, like, theory and his whole idea, but in reality, it's kind of like what we actually need in a specific moment. Like, if the whole world is just, no one's doing anything, then who is going to do it for us? If the whole world just withers and dies, it would be kind of like a painful suffering, and the people who are going to live are probably going to be the rich because they would have the money and this and that to live forward. Or it can be the other way around, where the whole people who are in poverty will just literally turn on the rich, and the rich, all their money will be worth nothing. And that's a scary thing. Like these theories can actually happen, but you know, I don't 100% believe my theories, but just 100% believe in my theory in robotics, because I feel like robotics is kind of the way out in all this madness. And you know, if we all survive 2020, you know, consider yourself absolutely lucky. Consider yourself absolutely, you know, amazing, because you know, you're just pulling right through this whole phenomena of stuff. And a lot of the stuff out there is in pretty bad chaos. And I swear to God, man, chaos is just, I don't know, it's just run just by nothing but evil. And you shouldn't let evil just always prevail, because evil is just, it's painful. Because if you want evil to just linger, people are going to suffer. And that's not a sign of, you know, wonderful. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that no one really wants. And, man oh man, you know what I mean? God damn. I swear to God, these matches are pretty damn interesting just to watch them all, but hey. But right now, you know, YouTube, I just feel like YouTube is a good place. It's got its downs, it's got its lows, but you know, sometimes you could just watch some YouTube videos and just, you literally laugh, you know, you just laugh at some things and you're just like, that was so funny, you know, like, I enjoy it, you know. Some things just mind boggles me, and it just makes me happy. When I go on YouTube, I feel like it's a mixed match of everything, which I do not like mind, and I enjoy it for every single little aspect of it. And I hope you too. And you know, YouTube just has some cheap ways to just try to like get your money, which is understandable, you know, who doesn't want money. But the thing is that, you know, you should be literally careful with cards, because there's a lot of, you know, countries out there that are trying to steal your money. And when I mean steal your money, they are just trying to do all sorts of shenanigans. And it's the truth, you know, you all see it on the internet. A lot of it can be fake, a lot of it is real. You just have to be careful in your choices and what you choose. So if you actually choose the wrong choice, then you're gonna literally have your things misinterpreted. Now, what I think is, you know, the cool thing about robotics is, you know, robots would be something that we can count on. Sometimes we just can't count on, you know, the human race, because a lot of us would just lie, you know. Sometimes I would lie, but you know, it's a small thing. But the thing is, it's just, you can't always just like think of the bad things. And the thing is, you know, I feel like robots wouldn't lie to you. Robots would probably lie to you if they got hacked, but you know, that's a whole different story, and that's a whole different type of, you know, era. But man oh man, can't you believe like the whole type of like eras that humanity is literally been through, which is pretty insane, you know. And I swear to God, you know, I actually enjoy, you know, watching YouTube. I hope you too enjoy watching YouTube, because, you know, there are some pretty damn interesting, fun things. And I swear God, there would be some really interesting robotics videos too online. You know, and then that's the thing, like cybernetics is going to actually be a future. There are whatchamacallit, cybernetic arm implants that literally, you know, change the whole way the whole human body works. Or people who just literally have no arms and they get their arm replaced with a robotic, you know, like robotic thing, and it's really cool. And you know, if something like that exists out there, you know, it's a good thing because it makes them feel confident. And if someone doesn't have an arm, I wouldn't feel too confident if I had no arm. But if there is a future where I'm able to get a new arm, which is a robotic arm, that is pretty damn interesting. There are also, like, for the legs, you know, there are all sorts of things that literally help enhance the human body. And I remember I had my uncle, and he told me all that stuff that cybernetics and this and that. He said it's the devil stuff. I'm just like, nah, it's not the devil stuff. It's enhancements. Who wouldn't want like these really cool body enhancements? Like body enhancements that like involve like no pain or anything like that when it's literally, you know, put onto you. Things that are really interesting and helpful. And that's the thing, like there's the game that's coming out, like Cyberpunk 2077. I think that's gonna literally give everybody a whole different perspective, and everyone's going to realize, like, yo, we need that sort of future, you know. And that's the way how a lot of this stuff works. Now, what I think is that I feel like a government should literally have a mass production. I just feel like they need to have a mass production to keep the economy running, because let's just say the economy, like let's just say like 300 or 400 years from now, like something absolutely bad happens and there's literally no robotics or anything to save like people from this humongous devastating virus. And what we need is something that just literally, you know, that literally enhances our way of eating, our way of like surviving. Sorry, excuse me. And man, it'd be pretty damn interesting because I don't know how the government would make it work, but it is possible because, you know, there are things like the Teslas. You know, it's something that's pretty damn interesting. We didn't expect something like that to even come out, something like that to even exist, and things like that, you know, can happen. And if something doesn't like literally improves our humanity, we're just all going to get stuck in this pothole of like sadness and despair and anger. And that's something that I wouldn't like to see. I believe everyone should, you know, deserve a right to have a good life. And for people to literally try to get what they've wanted and what they dreamed for, because that is a really good purpose. If you find a really good purpose in something, just go for it. If the purpose ain't going the way it's supposed to be going, it's probably the wrong path. Who knows? There's always something. And that's what's brilliant about the human mind, because the human mind can always think non-stop. The human mind is a powerful weapon. And a lot of people should just literally know about that by now. And man, oh man, life is just interesting, especially how it is right now. I just hope from now, like I hope like 2 years from now, I can literally go back to this and just, you know, understand how how I felt or how we all think or this and that. And man, I'm just telling you, man, machines would be pretty awesome. Pretty damn helpful. You know, sometimes I feel like these machines are gonna probably be helping me when I'm actually pooping in the restroom. Well, I'm an old man, but hey, it's better than a machine do it than a human doing it, because that's pretty nasty stuff. It's kind of sad but true. Sorry. Man, oh man. But anyways, I'm just literally watching this match, and this GPO4 is pretty nasty mobile suit. Pretty cool too. It's got a little ting of flair, which is pretty nice. And right here, I'm just trying to hold this whole area, whole line. And boom, there I go. But yeah, the thing is that, you know, I find a lot of us are just having our minds set on other things. You know, there are a lot of people out there having their minds set on, you know, makeup, clothing, and this and that. Which is, clothing is very important. You know, no one wants to walk around with the booty sticking out. Nuh-uh. And, you know, makeup is just makeup. It's just to make yourself look good. Enhancements. But hey, you never know how the makeup is going to be in the future. Maybe the makeup in the future are gonna literally be like your whole face glows, or who knows. That'd be kind of weird. And that's kind of wild. It'd be cool to actually have, you know, robots doing things, helping you out, math problems. I would like a robot that would literally tell me a lot of things, a lot of interesting things. That would be the most coolest robot. But hey, you all take care, and I hope what I said kind of soothes your soul. But hey, see y'all later.